The state Senate is back in session, and so are we with our Senate updates with Senator Julian Cyr. Welcome, Julian.
Paula, great to be with you again.
Fantastic.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. So you're sworn in.
We did yesterday on January 2nd. The Senate and the House was sworn back in. This is my second term. Very exciting because the Senate, after almost the last 2 years, we have been out of our chamber. We meet in this remarkably historic chamber. It's actually under the Golden Dome, and a complete historic renovation. You need to come and visit because it is sensational.
All right.
And really part of the real honor of this job is you get to work every day in sort of a living museum of Massachusetts history. The Massachusetts legislature, we're the oldest continually meeting democratically elected legislative body in the world.
Wow.
Thankfully, the Brits had that Civil War, so,
right?
so we one-upped them. So come and check out this new chamber. It's quite historic. And a lot of new updates were made. There's actually new busts. There's a quote from Frederick Douglass, which is acknowledged. And we're actually going to be bringing in the first bust of a woman into the Senate chamber, which we haven't had. So very exciting. New leadership under Senator Karen Spilka, our new Senate president. From Ashland. She's just a remarkable leader, so I'm very excited for the session.
Right. Lots of great work last year, especially
Thank
in
you.
the environmental areas. We're dredging in Katuitt, and we've got some coastal resiliency things going on. As you're looking forward to the new session, how do you kind of like come up with ideas of what kind of things that you're going to sponsor in the Senate?
So a lot of the ideas that we've championed last session, and I'm hoping to do again, come from constituents, come from leaders of organizations that we meet with. Was meeting earlier today and working with the folks at Capabilities. Last session they had a big challenge with a surcharge the state was putting on businesses around employer insurance. We worked to get a hardship waiver. Have worked with Barnstable residents on some environmental concerns, particularly around looking at environmental exposure issues. So actually, right now, this is the period where we're formulating bills. We have a deadline to submit timely filed legislation. Actually, it's within 3 weeks. It's Friday, January 18th is our bill filing deadline. So for constituents and residents in Barnstable, or anywhere in the Cape and Islands district, if you've got a good idea, if you've got a challenge you're grappling with, please reach out to my office because this is the period while we're doing that, and often some of our best ideas come from residents, come from people who are grappling with something. So this is the time, and as always, reach out to us. But this is particularly a good, helpful time to get that feedback.
Right. So second year, right, or second session that you're going to be a senator.
Yeah.
What do you know now that you didn't know when you first came in?
What do I know? That's a great question.
Isn't that a great question?
I think I have a much better sense of like the tempo of the sort of personalities and the conversation that we have in caucus. A lot of the work that we do in the Senate, we're a really deliberative body. I was really amazed, legislatures traditionally are very top-down. The Senate has worked really hard to have sort of flatten out authority, to have shared leadership. I kind of went in being like wondering, well, am I going to have a voice? Am I going to have to be, I'm the youngest member of the Senate. I was when I first was sworn in 2017. I'm still the youngest member. I'm a little older, but, wondering, would I have a voice? Would my colleagues listen to me? And now I really know, and really respect how much I've been heard and how much a role I've gotten to have in that. And I think also, I've also really learned that legislating, it's an iterative process. So, you're often not going to get it right on the first try. And so what you do is you want to file legislation, and you file a bill, and then you file it as an amendment to the budget, and then you file it as an amendment to a supplemental budget, and you keep working on that idea. You get feedback, you refine it, and you can actually get to yes by doing that. So that's really given me a new appreciation. And then just certainly, I think more than ever, just, really humbled by and appreciate just what a marvelous, unique kind of place this is, and how Cape Codders and Islanders just really care about this place and are really invested in it. We've got some big challenges that we need to keep working on. Vigilance in the opiate epidemic. I really want to make some progress around housing. Housing production. We need more housing on Cape Cod. This is the #1 issue. You talk to any employer, you talk to the towns. We need to step up on housing. That's going to mean changing how we do business here. And also really interested, and the Senate President's really interested, looking at how do we have a behavioral health, mental health care that's really worthy of the 21st century. What we've got now is not serving a lot of people. Healthcare reform, and how do you contain healthcare costs? So a lot to do. We filed, I think, over 60 bills last session. Right. Probably going to be closer to 80 or maybe 90 if all of you chime in.
Right.
So lots going on.
So one other question too. I don't want to hold you too long because you got a lot of work to do.
I like hanging out with you.
But there's this point where you get committee assignments,
yep.
And how important are those to a particular region when your senator gets on a committee that's really has something to do with the region?
So committee appointments are crucial. And we won't find out about those maybe later in January or early February. It's a decision the Senate President makes. Yes, for the region, but also for essentially being a committee chair is you get to be a content matter expert in a certain issue. And some of those committees are quite significant. So if you're the chair of Ways and Means, I won't be the chair of Ways and Means. That's a little premature for a sophomore
right.
a sophomore senator, but maybe someday. But those positions are significant. What's great about the Senate, and if you're in the majority party in the Senate, every member of the Democratic caucus chairs at least one committee. Actually, some of us chair 2. So you really get to stake out and really sink your teeth into an issue. And so whether it's transportation, you bring the lens of the challenges we have, with the bridges or the ferries. When it comes to healthcare reform and public health, the challenges we have with the opiate epidemic here, or healthcare costs. I was talking about capabilities earlier today. Their health insurance plan, the cost for their plan to provide health insurance went up $700,000 from last year to this year, right? We got to get a handle on that. So that's where the committee assignments are really important. But I find it's more about you're able to really drill down on an issue and bring your region's perspective to it.
All right. So January 18th is the
Yes.
deadline for soliciting ideas. How do people do that?
So just call my office. Reach out to my office. You can call. It's the number is 617-722-1570, or you can email me directly at julian.cyr@masenate.gov. You can also visit senatorcyr.com, and there's a form folks can fill out. So you got an idea, you got a challenge, you got something that's working well that can be improved. Reach out, let us know, and we'll work on it.
Fantastic.
Great.
Get to work.
I will.
Thanks,
Happy
Julian.
New Year, Paula. Great
You
to
too.
be with you.